Hello witchy people. Okay, so before I upload, right, this is messy, before I upload the next instalment of the Eye of Newt thing, I did promise to flip through, and a couple of people said they wanted to see it, so here it is. Once again, I have not put any charms on, and this hasn't got, it's got one tiny piece of journaling in it, and it is going to be used mainly for journaling and my sketches, rough sketches, because I don't, like I said before, I don't draw anymore. It's just silly sketches. So this is just a, let's get a tag out, there we go, this is just a, okay, and this was a pen sketch that I did on book paper, and then just a couple of little tags with bits on, and it just says a new beginning. It's not very interesting, and because it's a lot more full than I originally intended, for each page I have to sort of move the book around. So just a flip. This is a removable bookmark, and inside the bookmark is a bookmark. Just says pause for a moment, and there is actually two pockets in the book, two pockets in the bookmark. This is a hidden paper clip, so basically it's a paper clip that's covered in paper, so that it gives a little bit more something, you know, something nice to look at. Plain page, a few tickets. Like I said, a lot of this was printed out on paper that I'd spilt coffee on. So I kind and like books that, it was really funny. I bought a couple of Charles Dickens books, and they were just half a book, and then the first half of the book repeated again. It didn't have any ending, so rather than throw it away, I used the pages. These, it's like a little double stubby pocket, and they've just all got these in just to journal on, and I got those from, I believe it was my Porch Prints. I did, when I was making it, list some of the paper collections that I used, just because I liked them. So that's how it's out. And then just a ripped pocket with some more tags, and the only tag I think that I altered. And these are old used sewing pattern bits and bits of the book, and when I say scraps of paper, I do mean scraps of paper. So I'm just changing that light slightly. None of it was like big sheets. They were scraps of paper left over from other projects, and I bought these stickers. So an old paper napkin is another bookmark here. It just says dream, which funny enough was the name of my friend's dog. Another torn pocket. No, it's not a torn pocket. This is a, oh, what do they call it? Collage pocket. Just all little bits chucked in. This was a bit from a book. Sorry about the weird noises. My dog has decided that he wants to start cleaning his paws. Like I said, there are 5 signatures, and they've all got the same kind of thing in them. Cut out the papers, scraps of the papers. This was a bit of a packaging. This was a bit of old Christmas paper. I thought like tore in between. It was green. It's another hidden paper clip. These are I bought these cards, and they were so thin, so I decided to cover them and use them as tags, but they are still very thin. There's a triple pocket and it's just full of little bits of ephemera, and yeah. If you can hear any other weird noises, it'll be my as I like to call him, the man who lives with us and dates my daughter. He's playing an online game. So yeah, and these were just filled up with all sorts of little scraps that I cut out, and then yeah, and this is just watercolour pencil. All the pages are inked. This was a page, one of my favourite Robert Frost poems, The Road Not Taken, and I just sketched a tree and a pathway going up. This was made up of tiny little bits of scraps of all the bits of paper. So when I say I keep my scraps, I keep the tiniest bits of scraps. It's a stamp I had. This is an old tea bag. I drink a lot of lemongrass and ginger tea, and this is a tea bag from it. Calendar that I had. This is also calendar paper from a few years back, not recent calendars, and I like some of the pictures, but I thought we might as well use the rest of it as well. So yeah, there's that. All of these, that's one of those little tiny little Tim Holtz bulldog clips. They're so tiny. So all the envelopes have got similar things in. They've all got a replica of a French receipt and either a bit of vintage or hand-dyed papers, what they call eco-dye now, because I used fruit and vegetables to dye them. What do I do with that? See, they're so tiny you can't see them. And that just clips on there. There's a double pocket and just scraps of paper. I had printed off some bits and pieces, and this one just says Being Me. This is a postcard from the collection, and all the double pockets have got the same bits in. That's actually got journaling on the back of it. You don't want to see that. And when I treat my papers quite badly, I'm quite heavy-handed with them, and it's only very thin paper. I just put sellotape on it, and it looks heavily aged. It's not. It's inks. I have a plan for the middle of this. Oh, so just, and I like when you heavily water one side of the page to cover up, because I wanted to cover up basically what was on there. It seeps through onto the other side, which I absolutely love. This is not tissue paper, tracing paper that's about 20 years old. Another one of those hidden paper clips, and inside is just a couple of small tags. This tag actually came from a collection at Pixel Scrappers, which is a lovely place to visit. I would love to have my subscription back there, but I can't afford it. So yeah, old ledger paper. This has just been inked and glued and everything else. One of my favourite quotes, I think it's a Patience Strong quote, but I've never been able to find it. And if you do a search for it, I can't find it. It just says, the soul of nature may be touched in the tranquility of quiet places. And bits of old file folders cut out, and with the newsprint. I think this was the Pickwick papers. That's where most of this come from. A picture of a feather that I drew on the 4th of July, and that's actually drawn straight onto here. It's not a copy or anything. This is a piece of vintage paper that was my grandfather's. And it's like parchment paper, but it kind of feels like baking paper. It's really strange. Another one of those tags. And she has the moon in her eyes, which is a song, a line from the song Witchy Woman by the Eagles. It's got a couple of tags and that, and then this is a large pocket, and it's just got some watercolour paper tucked inside there. Okay, this is another pocket. She says there's nothing in it. Once again, a little torn pocket, and I just stuck that up there because I liked it there. It's all been cheap acrylic paint. If there's any painting, it's all being done with cheap acrylic paint. It's a piece of coloured vellum. That came from something else that I'd made and I didn't like it, and I ripped it off. So yeah, just lots of little bits and pieces. That's a copy of it was a pencil image that I drew and then splattered watercolour paint all over it. That's the copy. It's a robin, in case you didn't know. A English robin, British robin. This is a envelope that I made, and inside was what prompted me to draw this, was because robins are very solitary birds, was Solitude by Ella Wheeler Wilcox, which I absolutely love. I like Ella Wheeler Wilcox. I think she's brilliant. Another piece of that vintage paper. And yeah, the other side of the envelope, I just glued it here and stuck it down. Stuck a couple of tags in there. Another little bookmark which says, and you can see it's almost worn away, sometimes the most real things in the world are the things we cannot see. And just in case it disappears completely, I wrote it on that side. These paper whatchamaflippity-doo does are so thin that they just break, and so I just patched them up with bits of the paper. There's another torn pocket. This one has got a key dangling from the bulb pin, a couple of tags, and very heavily coffee dyed because I like coffee dyeing and coffee splattering. Another little flip up bit, more coffee splattered paper. This is just a little envelope from one of the kits. Another little collage pocket that says feel free. Another single pocket, another bit of collage, and this is that stuff that you buy, what's it called? I know this is the heavy grit plaster stuff that you use to swipe through. My brain is not working at all. Swipe through the little pattern things, plastic pattern things. Oh, I should give up, shouldn't I? There's another envelope from there. Once again, it's got stuff in. That's another piece of eco dyed paper. That's onion dyed. Lots of little bits and pieces. Another one of those, I think they're called snippet strips. They're made out of little snippets of all the papers that you used. Another bit of collage with the tea bag. The Pickwick Club, that was the book. More bits of the calendar. Another double pocket that just says Wild Places. It's not very interesting. It's just lots of the same thing over and over again. I think that was painted with or splattered with ink, and then I just put ink on and then sprayed water on it. So a lot of the blank pages that you see that are like got bits like this on, these will probably have pictures drawn on them or placed over them. Another little envelope. This one says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain, which is the quote that kept me going when my father was dying. Yeah, more of these ticket bits, and this was painted over with, oh crikey, ink and paint and lots of water. This was, and coffee, lots of coffee, and this just says, she believes she could, so she did. This is another pocket. Oh, I should mention as well, this and this are also top pockets. Next signature, this just flips out, and it's got another one of those little journaling cards in it. This paper, I downloaded it in loads of different colours from an Etsy store. If I can remember what it is, I will link it. More eco-dyed paper, little bits of tags and such like. This one just says standing alone. This was a book page that I drew a silhouette over and then painted it and left the middle untouched to represent the moon, because everyone knows I love the hair and the moon gazing hair. Another torn pocket. This one has a little golden bee charm on it. Not real gold, obviously. This one just says creativity. Like I say, I'm using these, or perhaps bits in the book, like this says extraordinary, or seriously, or strange. And I can pick out the words as a prompt to choose what I'm going to journal. So the journal's not going to be a day-to-day thing, it's just when I feel like it sort of thing. Another one of these. See, this I supposed and might I circled on the little bit of paper there. Another one of these, and this says dinkum and dinky and dinner. So it must be a little bit of a dictionary page. I think this is Tim Holt's washi tape, and it says things like artful and dream and crafty and memory. Another splattery page and a hidden paper clip. Another one of those bits. So this is a bit of tea bag underneath there again. Another double pocket with changes, and another one of those envelopes. This is just a couple of those printed out tickets with some bits and pieces in. I don't think there's nothing in that pocket. Another little single pocket with some, oh, it's got another little envelope in it. And I made loads of these. This is the only one I used. It's just got a few sheets of lined paper in it from, I think it was from an old, oh, probably just an old notebook or something. Another one of these pages with the old diary calendar pages in, and tea bag. More ink splatters and copy splatters. This one just says As the World Falls Down, which is from the David Bowie film Labyrinth. It's a song from there. Another pocket, top loading pocket. This one I cut the front off and just used it as a side pocket. This says Falling. More onion dyed paper. more onion dyed paper. Actually, I think that's part onion and part red cabbage. I usually sniff it to find out, but this was a bit of a music sheet, and I sewed around the words "Do you hear?" Another top-loading pocket and envelope. This was just, I didn't like this page until I collaged it, so it's just a page that was cut in half and then glued in like the just around the edges but not in the middle, and one of these tags goes in one side, and oh no, that's the wrong way around. One goes in one side and this one goes in this side, simply because I ringed bright yellow there. Another one of those pockets, and how those little file folder cards are supposed to be. It says memory. Another one of those cards, and one of the paper clips, hidden paper clips. This is also vintage paper from my grandfather's leftovers, and it's got a couple of tags in it. And this is also paper from my grandfather's collection that I just stuck onto there. More coffee dyeing and splattering, and so a lot of ink, watercolour pencils, not ink, watercolour pencils. Another tea bag page, the tea bag and the calendar bits. Another one of those old paper pockets, just sewn up the side. Another little snippet strip with all sorts of little bits and pieces on it from the papers that I have used. Oh, blank pages. Another torn pocket, and this just says "listen a while" on the paper there. Oh, and this one, oh, it's got the "this journal belongs to" tag on there. This is also a top loading pocket because it's a old envelope. This one says "searching." Another double pocket. Daydream on this bookmark. Bookmark journal tag. Another little tuck spot there with a few little bits and pieces in. I think that, yeah, that goes up there. And this one says "Magic on the Breath," which is actually a really good book by Tuthill and Penry on YouTube. Another top loading pocket, lots of coffee splatter again. This one, instead of using the pocket to flip out, I used it to flip in, and then just attached it here on a piece of vellum, so you can see the tag strips. Another tea bag, tea bag and calendar page, I shall call that. Now this one says "Moonlight" on the journal bookmark tag bit. Another bit of that paper from my grandfather, and more eco dyed paper. Just because eco dyeing sounds so much better than I dyed it with vegetables. This one's got "inquired" and "identify" on here, and this one has got a little silver bee charm on it. This one's just been painted over with watered down gesso, and then I think I put ink over it. This one just says "still," and it's got just a, yeah, plain bits and pieces in it. And Another one of these little, they were supposed to be triple pockets. They are now double pockets because I actually preferred them without the small pocket at the bottom, and just with some eco-dyed paper in the background. Another one of those. So you can see it's kind of repeated through similar pages. A hidden paper clip. This just says Live, Laugh, Love. And oh, that's a bit of sari silk. A little snippet strip. As you can see, it's this is another one of those weird paper. I don't know what this paper would have been used for. It's almost plasticky feeling. I think the back of that was a Madame something that I'd gotten, and that was the packaging of it. And yeah, so it's quite thick, so I thought it would be useful to keep in there with another one of those hidden paper clips. And another one of those journal tags. Another envelope. Haven't found anything that needs repairing, and I have got my tape ready. Another little tiny pocket with a little empty envelope in. And this one says, "Tell it to the bees." And inside the back here is all the leftover bits and pieces. So it's got leftover bits of the snippet strip, pockets, all sorts of ephemera bits and pieces that I didn't use. I think most of it, yeah, is in, I think that's all there is. Oh no, there's a couple of bits of paper I didn't use, a bit of card that I didn't use, yeah, snippet strip and some printouts that I didn't use, so that's there. Picture from the newspaper that I cut out, and this is all little tags and bits of paper and circles that I'd used throughout the album. This is some of the tickets and bits of papers that I'd cut out and didn't use, because I may use them still. I can always add them. And this is lots of little envelopes inside an envelope. And yes, so lots of little bits and pieces left over, which that I should say that I will keep in the back for as I fill this in, because as I said, this one is for me and me alone. And I just used the paper clip on there, didn't I? Come back. Yes, so this is going to end up being a personal journal. And of course the back is the same as the front. But like I said, it's more for like when I fancy doing a little picture or something, you know, just, you know, or want to take my mind off things and just doodle, because that's what I doodle. I do doodle. So there you go. As I told you how I made the cover. So yes, and I still don't know what charms, if any, I'm going to put on there, or beads or anything. So yes, now I have to finish off doing the bits and pieces that I was getting ready for my next video. And carry on with that. Like I said, I do have next planned a picture of my father, a pencil picture, which will go in here, but there will probably be a copy of it in here because it's going to be a picture of my dad. So I'll keep the original in with my other pictures. So yes, lots of what most people would consider tat and rubbish and things of no use. Like I said, there have been on the first, I've just tied up, I'm going to untie it again now. Like obviously this was made out of an old envelope. That was made out of a piece of card that I'd ripped. Yeah, so lots of just different bits and pieces. Some of it not junk, some of it junk, so hence not actually a junk journal, but some junk in my junk journal. And leftovers, bits, pieces, things that were going to be thrown away, junk mail, all sorts went in here. And like I said, a lot of paper that I'd spilt coffee on and thought, what the heck, I'll use that. So there we go. Thank you for watching my boring video, and I will be back very soon. Bye for now, witchy people.